Have you ever met someone who just doesn't make sense? Someone who doesn't fit your type, who fails to meet any of your standards, yet your mind refuses to let them go, no matter how hard you try. It's not love at first sight. It's not an ordinary attraction. It's a hazy, jarring moment of awareness, as if the deepest part of you whispered, "This person means something to me." And then you ask yourself, why does this person make me feel so confused? Why is there this eerie, almost frightening sense of familiarity? Carl Jung believed that moments like these are not random. They are messages from the unconscious, a place that holds the true map of meaningful connections in your life. According to Jung, real love does not come from reason. It arises from a profound resonance between two inner worlds. When your soul responds to another soul, it's not through logic, but through primal emotion. So how do you know if someone is your true love? How do you distinguish between fleeting desire and a profound connection written by the collective unconscious? Today, we'll decode the invisible but undeniable signs. Carl Jung left us like a map to help you recognize who is truly meant for you. If you've ever felt a connection that's hard to explain, stay with me. This video will help you discover what true love really means. Number 1. What is true love? To Jung, true love isn't about societal compatibility. It's a sacred meeting of two inner worlds, a resonance between souls beyond logic and appearances. Jung called this the voice of the unconscious, a part of you that the rational mind can't control but knows what's real. We each carry archetypes buried deep in the collective unconscious: the mother, father, lover, child, hero, betrayer. When we fall in love, we often don't love the real person. We project an unconscious archetype onto them. We love a reflection of ourselves. For example, you meet someone strong and calm, and you're drawn because they awaken the ideal lover archetype in you. Or if you carry childhood wounds, you might unconsciously seek cold, distant people, trying to heal your past through present love. Jung called this projection one of love's most powerful but deceptive phenomena. True love starts only when you see beyond projection, seeing the other as a real person, not a symbol of your desires or wounds. Love, for Jung, is a spiritual catalyst. When you truly love, you see not just the other person, but your whole self-light and shadow, strengths and wounds, the parts you're proud of and those you deny. It's not gentle, it's an awakening. That's why real love isn't easy. But it is real. Only what's real can heal. Take this example. You're with someone who makes you feel safe and cherished, but you're no longer yourself. You shrink. Give up what you enjoy. Stop pursuing passions, becoming smaller just to keep them. Jung would say that's not love. That's fear-driven negotiation to avoid abandonment. True love doesn't shrink you, it expands you. Or maybe you've met someone who turned your life upside down. You don't know why they touch the deepest part of you, but they force you to question everything about yourself. You may feel anxious, confused, or angry, yet alive. This is what Jung meant. That person didn't come to comfort you. They came to awaken you. True love isn't about comfort. It's about consciousness. Jung called it the journey of individuation, using love to become your fullest, truest self. The other isn't your escape. They're your mirror, your fire, your catalyst for self-awareness. True love doesn't always feel good, but it feels right in a way that defies explanation. You know it in every cell, every breath. This person isn't perfect, but they help you reach deeper than anyone else. Carl Jung didn't give a formula for finding love. He gave us a mirror to recognize it when it comes. The first and most important lesson: true love doesn't come from reason. It comes from the resonance of two unconscious souls. When that happens, you don't ask, "Is this the one you just know with heart and soul?" But recognizing it isn't easy. True love doesn't speak loudly or logically. It speaks through subtle feelings, intuition, and silent, unconscious signals. So how do you know you're in front of true love? Here are 7 core signs not to analyze others, but to listen to yourself when love appears. If you're ready to explore them with me, comment, "I'm ready." Let's begin. Number 2. 7 signs. This is true love. Have you ever met someone once, and though nothing obvious happened outside, something deep inside you vibrated in a strange, intense way? It's not that this person fits your type or seems perfect, but a quiet, powerful feeling like finding a lost piece of your soul. A familiarity beyond logic, reason, or experience. It hits instantly, like a memory from another lifetime you can't name. Carl Jung called this the unconscious responding to a soul that resonates deeply with yours, not because they're like you, but because they awaken a part of you never lit before. It might be a soft feminine energy you denied, or a wild, intuitive, free spirit society made you forget. Jung named these the anima feminine, in men an animus masculine, in women archetypes buried deep in the unconscious. When you meet someone who activates your anima or animus, you don't just like them, you see yourself in them. They're like a mysterious mirror reflecting parts of your soul you've never embraced. For example, maybe you're rational, disciplined, living structured, then meet someone emotional, intuitive, free as the wind. They're nothing like you, yet you can't look away. Something in their gaze feels like an old friend you never met. They don't complete you like a missing half, but awaken parts you buried out of fear, pain, or social pressure. This is Jung's first sign of true love, not external compatibility, but internal resonance. A quiet recognition as if your soul whispered, "We finally meet again." But here's the key. This recognition isn't always pleasant. Sometimes what you recognize isn't the sweet part of love, but the part of your soul you fear and reject. Many run from this connection, thinking it's wrong. But Jung warned, don't mistake fear for error. Some souls make you tremble, because they say what you're not ready to hear. Not every resonant soul brings peace. Sometimes the one you recognize deepest also confuses, angers, or hurts you. Recognition involves both your light and your darkness. Jung called this shadow the part of your psyche you avoid, the repressed, rejected, or shame parts. The shadow isn't evil, just parts no one taught you to love. True love is always tied to the shadow. You'll know it's real when someone pulls you in, but also makes you want to run. They make you vulnerable, say things you don't want to hear, and expose your fears of abandonment, jealousy, insecurity, all things you thought you'd overcome. And you ask, why does this person touch my most vulnerable part? Jung would say, because they're unconsciously triggering your shadow. That person is a mirror reflecting parts you love and parts you hide. Real love requires you to face yourself, Jung said. One does not become enlightened by imagining light, but by making darkness conscious. Light doesn't come from pretending to be perfect, but from facing the dark. The one you truly love won't let you hide anymore. They're the mirror revealing your dark corners, not to judge you, but to set you free. Think of relationships that made you suffer, not because they treated you badly, but because they made you feel not good enough, fragile, or out of control. If you look back without blame, but with understanding, you'll see they touched wounds that hadn't healed. To Jung, that's not failure. It's a chance to integrate your shadow and truly grow. Many think true love must be easy and sweet. But Jung said, wholeness comes not by cutting off parts of yourself, but by integrating opposites. True love transforms, pulling your shadow into the light not to hurt, but to free you. They aren't here to soothe your pain. They're here to make you look at it. They challenge you, push you out of your comfort zone, make you question who you really are. If you're with someone who makes you feel both love and fear, desire and the urge to run, don't assume something's wrong. You may not be meeting danger. You may be meeting destiny. Sign 3. They energize you. It's true. Real love can awaken your shadow, and that might throw you into chaos. But Jung never said true love means endless suffering. On the contrary, he emphasized if someone is truly the right one, they won't drain you, they'll energize you and help you grow. After the initial confusion and the clash with your darker parts, they give you a new kind of energy, not impulsive adrenaline, but a quiet, steady life force. They don't deplete you. They remind you who you are. There's a common mistake many make, thinking that true love must involve sacrifice, endurance, or fighting to make it work. But Jung would stop you right there. He clearly said, the meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. True love doesn't make you shrink to fit someone else. It transforms you, but in a way that makes you bigger, truer, more alive. Ask yourself, when I'm with this person, do I feel allowed to be myself, or do I perform, censor, tiptoe, afraid of judgment? Do I feel recharged, or do I feel like every encounter drains me? Some relationships feel like this. You talk for a few hours and you feel wiped out. No fights, no drama. But something in the energy makes you tired. You have to try to stay connected. You sacrifice too much to make it work. And deep down, I'm not myself anymore. But with the right person, even if there are disagreements, even in silence, you feel filled up. They don't demand you always be strong. They give you space to be vulnerable, and they stay. They don't require perfection. They make you feel safe enough to drop your defenses. That person turns you inward, not to retreat, but to awaken. They don't love your mask. They love the real energy inside you, even when you've forgotten what it is. And when that happens, you'll know, because love won't feel like a battle anymore. It will feel like a return. Sign 4. You feel a shared purpose with them. A person who energizes you instead of draining you is a clear sign. But true love, according to Carl Jung, doesn't stop at comfort. It goes further. It creates space for both people to grow, not by merging into one, not by becoming dependent, but by walking two distinct paths in parallel toward a shared direction. Jung once said, every human life contains a potential. If that potential is not fulfilled, then that life was wasted. He believed that every person is a microcosm, a universe with its own identity, potential, and purpose. True love doesn't erase that individuality. On the contrary, it makes each person more clearly defined in themselves and simultaneously creates a new energetic field where both can serve something greater than themselves. You know you're in a truly deep relationship when you feel, I haven't lost myself loving this person. On the contrary, I know myself better. And at the same time, I can walk alongside them towards something greater for both of us. It's not about blending. It's not about sacrificing who you are to make it work. It's two complete beings, each with their path, ideals, and passions. Yet, when together, they align at the level of core values. They could be independent, but they choose to walk together because this shared growth feels sacred. For example, you might be passionate about healing and psychology. The other is drawn to art and personal expression. On the surface, you seem different with little in common, but both of you share a value freeing the human spirit from internal bondage and lies. When together, neither abandons their dream, but you find that their dream fuels your journey and vice versa. Jung would say this is the sign of a symbolic soul convergence. It's not just attraction, it's a meaningful depth that makes both feel, we're building something that isn't just for us. And the key is this. This kind of growth is not separate from love. It is love. Because you love them, you want them to soar higher. And because they love you, they never hold you back to serve their ego. You become each other's keepers of the flame with no demands, no manipulation, no control. True love, according to Jung, isn't two people doing everything together all the time. It's two free, awakened souls on separate journeys of individuation, yet sharing one heartbeat, one sacred invitation from the collective unconscious. When you love someone and also feel both of you are becoming stronger versions of yourselves because of each other's presence, that's not luck. That's destiny called forth from the unconscious. Sign 5. Time and space seem to disappear. When both people can grow, holding their individuality yet harmonizing on a shared path, love reaches a deeper layer of awakening. But there's something more subtle, more mystical, that Carl Jung believed was a sign that you're not just in love, but being guided to it. That phenomenon is called synchronicity, meaningful coincidences. Have you ever asked yourself, why did I meet that person right at that moment? Why, out of millions of people, did I just happen to sit next to them in an empty cafe? And why can't I stop thinking about them? Jung didn't believe this was random. He called it the language of the collective unconscious, the cosmic intelligence working beneath the surface, leading you to the right place, right person at the right time. As he wrote, synchronicity is an ever-present reality for those who have eyes to see. When you meet someone and time seems to pause, when the outside world fades away and all that exists is this moment between you and them, that's your unconscious recognizing something far more important than reason can explain. For example, you miss a bus, something that seems annoying, but it leads you to meet them in a quiet, unfamiliar cafe, or you're standing at a major crossroads in life, lost, and they appear not to fix anything, but to spark something inside you. A memory, an intuition, a reminder of why you began. People like this rarely show up at convenient times. They arrive when you're in transition, when your soul is asking questions, when you no longer want to keep faking it. They're a living signal from the unconscious part of you you've been ignoring. They pull your attention back inward just by being there. And the so-called random circumstances of your meeting time, place, and tiny details that seem meaningless suddenly carry a profound emotional weight. As if the universe is whispering, this was arranged. Pay attention. Not all coincidences are fate, but when your unconscious stirs, when time slows down, when someone enters your life just as you begin to wake up, that's not random anymore. Sign 6. They inspire you to be more authentically yourself. If synchronicity is fate knocking on your door, then the feeling of belonging is what happens when you walk through and suddenly realize your soul has been there before. Carl Jung often said that we each carry unconscious archetypes, ancient psychic images of the mother, father, lover, child, teacher. And when you meet someone who awakens a key archetype, your soul recognizes something more familiar than anything you've ever consciously touched. He wrote, "We meet ourselves time and again in 1,000 disguises on the path of life. And sometimes meeting yourself happens through meeting another person. Not because they are like you, not because they take away your loneliness, but with them, you don't have to pretend. You don't have to shrink yourself. You don't have to earn love through performance. You are simply yourself, and that is enough." Have you ever felt this being with someone without needing to talk too much, without trying to impress, and yet the space between you feels like a sacred zone of safety, where every part of you is welcome, even the fragile, hurt, unfinished parts? That's not just comfort. That's deep-rootedness. A soul level anchoring in someone else without losing yourself. And Jung would say, this isn't just a feeling. It's a resonance between two souls that have already touched in the collective unconscious where memory lives beyond this lifetime. In true love, this person doesn't hide their shadow. They embrace it as an inseparable part of you. And because of that, you don't just feel accepted. You feel seen, understood, and invited to stay. Not in a physical home, but in a soul space where every version of you past, present, and future is welcomed. This feeling can't be manufactured with logic. No dating app can describe it because it doesn't come from matching personalities. It comes from soul harmony. And if you've ever met someone who makes you exhale, not because they saved you, but because you can finally drop your armor, then don't doubt it. Sign 7. They force you to choose to love for real or keep living a lie. After all the intense emotions, strange synchronicities, and moments when you feel truly seen at your core, there comes a moment when you must make a real choice. Either love for real or keep living a lie. Carl Jung never romanticized love. To him, true love is about confrontation, not just with the other person, but with your true self. And truth always demands sacrifice. Not the sacrifice of love itself, but of your false self, your roles, your armor, and relationships that no longer fit who you are. As he said, people will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their soul. The person truly meant for you won't let you run anymore. They won't let you stay in your comfort zone, keep wearing your mask, or pretend everything's fine. They call out your authentic self and make it impossible to keep faking it. Then you realize if you want this person to stay, you must become the most honest version of yourself. No more compromising with lies. No more holding on to relationships that don't nourish you. You will have to let go. Let go of what let go of people who only love your pleasant, successful, strong side. Let go of the lifestyle that disconnects you from your soul. Let go of the fear that being real means being left behind. This is the moment when love is no longer just an emotion, but a commitment to truth. And if you dare to step into it, you're not just loving them, you're choosing to love yourself. Jung called this the ultimate confrontation between ego and reality. True love won't wait for you in shallow waters. It waits where you're willing to shed illusions and live in radical truth. That person may not stay if you're not ready, but if you choose truth, that love won't just change your relationship. It will change who you are. But here's the catch. Not everything that makes you tremble, lose control, or feel obsessed is true love. Intensity isn't always proof of authenticity. Sometimes it's just the voice of an old wound crying out to be healed. Jung called this a wake-up call. There's a kind of love that leaves you breathless, intoxicated, obsessed. Every time they come near, you feel scorched. Every time they leave, you feel hollow, like you're losing yourself. It's the kind of love that steals your sleep, makes you tremble, and makes you sacrifice yourself just to hold on. It's intense, fiery, irresistible. But Jung warns, be careful. Not everything that stirs you deeply is true love. He called this excessive projection, when you stop seeing the other person for who they really are, and instead see them as a symbol of all your unmet desires and unhealed wounds. This can make you confuse emotional addiction with soul connection. When you haven't integrated your inner unconscious, you project it onto others without realizing it. And when they don't live up to that role, you feel betrayed, hurt, and disillusioned. But it's not love that's been betrayed, it's the collapse of an illusion. Look back at yourself. Have you ever had a powerful connection that made you lose yourself? Share in the comments. Sometimes naming it is the first step to waking up. Jung saw many people trapped in emotional codependency relationships tangled with drama, longing to be rescued, and romanticized suffering. These relationships can be passionate and intense, but they pull you away from yourself and make you forget your path. You start changing who you are just to hold on. You justify being hurt. You tell yourself love means accepting everything. But in truth, you're sacrificing your inner truth just to keep what feels like love. Picture a couple who feel an intense connection right away. They're drawn like magnets, bond fast, share everything, merge completely, but within months, things fall apart. Explosive fights happen. Insecurity rises. One tries to control. The other withdraws. They're in pain, but can't let go. Jung would say, no, this isn't love. This is the unconscious trying to free itself through the other. A real connection doesn't make you lose yourself. It brings you back to yourself. It can still be intense and challenging, but it won't leave you dependent, chaotic, or diminished. Jung pointed out many people get addicted to feeling captivated because that's where they feel alive. But that's a life fueled by stimulation, not awareness. If you keep chasing that, you'll keep missing true love, the kind that comes not from lack, but from wholeness. A relationship may feel like it touches your soul. But if afterward you feel drained, if you have to perform or abandon your core values to stay, then be brave enough to face the truth. This is not love. It's your unconscious crying out. True love can be deep, even fierce, but it leads to expansion, not collapse. It brings clarity, not confusion. Though love may demand change, you still feel connected to yourself, not twisted to hold on to someone else. Jung urges you to stay awake. Don't let intensity blind you. Ask yourself, is love helping me grow or pulling me away from my soul? If after each encounter you feel clearer and freer, that's love. If you fade, trading pieces of yourself to keep someone near, you're not in love. You're abandoning yourself. Jung's core truth. You can't find true love until you truly love yourself. This means accepting all parts of you, light and shadow alike. Most love fails because we enter it still strangers to ourselves. You want to be seen, but refuse to look inside. You want love, but can't love your dark parts. You give your heart hoping someone else will fill the void. But no one can do that forever. When you feel abandoned or not enough, ask yourself, have I truly loved myself? Self-love is more than affirmations. It's embracing all your flaws and fears. Facing your shadow frees you from needing others to complete you. True love starts when you accept yourself fully. Then love is sharing the wholeness you've found. Love won't save you, it will walk beside you. To know if someone is true love. Listen to the quiet voice inside. No tool is sharper. Ask, am I loving from truth or fear of being alone? Many cling to love out of fear of emptiness. But real love helps you grow, not shrink. If you lose dreams or change yourself just to keep peace, you're not loving, you're surviving. Sometimes relationships distort your true self. Ask, am I changing to grow, or because I'm being diminished? Trust your intuition, the quiet knowing that says, this isn't right, or this means more than I admit. Don't ignore that voice. It never leaves. True love is a journey into the soul's wild terrain, where logic fades and maps don't exist. The right person may not be perfect, but they make you pause. True love may come as a quiet knock in the night, a presence that makes your heart stir for no clear reason. If you feel this, maybe love has already knocked. This message resonated with you. Drop a comment below and share your experience. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell to join our journey toward true love and self-discovery.